Ladies, gentlemen, and others in chat, welcome to another drawing stream where we will continue our efforts of self-improvement. And we can start by reviewing the basic notes from Wednesday's training session. So, of course, ellipses that go from narrow to thin, we're just going to keep it up, basically. Keep drawing at an angle, but also following along a curve. I'm wondering if we should try and step up the difficulty. Instead of having 3 lines, just have 1 line for the straight. Straight lines and parallel curved lines. We're just going to keep it up with slowing down and ghosting. For rotated basic shapes, we're still going to use the same reference, but don't. A little bit of aha moment was don't shrink the reference. Made it easier, and the same thing with rotated or stacked boxes. Manipulated shape. And I think by the end of, like, we're not shifting the rotated boxes, but I think, or the stacked boxes rather, but I think we're going to mix it up next week with some new references. And for the mannequin plus silhouette, we're going to continue to keep it in excuse me, keep it in frame, but we also need to keep it keep it in frame, but also keep it not zoomed in, but instead have a complete overview so that we can better deal with our proportion issues. There seems to be a bit of an aha moment. And from there, we're gonna continue to wrestle with the stairway. Let's see. So, 3 minutes. Ellipses. Let's go. So we're just gonna start with a very nice and narrow. That one was butched. But we are warming up after all, so I mean, it's not super terrible. Yeah. Classic S curve. We can start. Yeah. All right. There are some weird stuff going on. Okay. Parallel lines. Let's go. Ooh. Some duds in there, but that's okay. Ooh, that was pretty slick. That was not slick. But I wonder if it's because the sea that way is like unnatural or difficult, not necessarily unnatural, but it's counterintuitive for me. Because there's definitely something to that where you sort of go like, oh yeah, you need to, like, what angles come easy to you and what doesn't. And then of course you just, you need to draw a line like that. That wasn't good. Like, that one was good, but that one wasn't. Even though, yeah, this one is sharper, but it's also opposite. I suppose it has something to do with the direction that you draw, from left to right, right to left, depending on. Yeah, that was a solid winner. That one's pretty solid. There's some stud in there, but like, should you tackle the weaknesses or should you just embrace them and go like, nah, I'm not gonna. I'm not gonna bother with any of that. I'm just gonna this is where we start. Let's see where we end up here. Oh my goodness. Yeah, that's pretty good. And this one needs to go parallel to that line, but it also needs to go further down because perspective. That was a horrible angle. How about that? Yeah, okay, we can live with that. And then we will cut it off somewhere along there. I can live with that. Okay. And then like that. Not bad. All things considered. Again, strangling the perfectionist in me. Oh, it's gotta be. I swear, like, I remember when I did the Doodle Warrior portrait system. Oh, okay, that one is way too off. And I like submitted one of my early. I don't think maybe I've told this story before. One of the early submissions. It wasn't even a complete lesson 1 submission. It was just go like, oh yeah, this is how far I got, and like, do you see any mistakes? And it's just go like, yeah, your lines aren't parallel enough. You're off by like 5 pixels. I'm like, this is how you treat your newcomers? Like, what the heck? Like, you want to instill crippling perfectionist obsession with it right out the frickin' gate. Because that's how you install crippling perfectionism into your students right out the frickin' gate. No, it still needs to be. Oh my goodness, why can't you? Oh, it has to be a little bit off because that first box is a little bit off, but. Yeah. I'm not sure how the center box turned out better than sort of like my quote-unquote master box, but whatever. It needs to be a little bit. And this one needs to be a little... something like that. Way off. Because I based... Of course it's way off because I based it off this one, which is a stupid thing to be. That looks very promising. I mean, it's a little bit off, but... that one is off because the first one is off. Compounding. I heard about tech debt. We heard about tech debt, but I haven't heard about like drawing debt. It was like you make a mistake early on and it just comes back and haunts you for a long, long time. I mean, come on. Oh. temperature's been dropping lately, and I'm like, god dang. I was like, oh yeah, I don't have to keep my oven on 24/7 anymore because like, or at full capacity because like, yeah, it's getting milder. And they're like, no, it's not gonna get milder. It's gonna get colder, you dumbass. I'm like, oh. I am. Freezing. And for once, I actually didn't overshoot my line, which is a new experience for me. Ah, good enough, I guess. Is that a roughly? It needs to be this one needs to be a bit flatter. For lack of a better term, yeah. Yeah, if I needed to do these boxes like absolutely accurately, for whatever reason, I would have totally just straight up traced them or something to that effect. That way too far out. Something like that. Ooh, that was pretty spot on. Like the placement is wrong, but whatever. Way too low. I have a sneaking suspicion that that is way too high. No, it's not. It's so good that I'm willing to take it and accept it. And it's just like, yeah. And yeah, a little bit. Yeah. Oh, started on the second row, so I'm happy with that. And I don't necessarily think that I'm gonna focus too much on speed or trying to complete it. It's more, that's just something that's just gonna get passively better. It's a passive thing rather than something that you actively practice, in my humble opinion. It's a byproduct, not necessarily an exercise in and of itself. Well, another 10 minutes. Let's go. Okay, well now I have an answer line, and now we can just confused. I suspect that is, yeah, it's too wide. Yeah, baby. And now we need to really, it's not a perfect line, but especially that little curved corner there, but you know, screw it. And I know that this one starts and stops on a dime, so it probably needs to be something like that. Even wider. Wow. Wow. Something like that then? I think that's too wide again. Yeah. God dang it. There. I think that's pretty good. Considering it's freehand, I would say that's all borderline spot on. Okay. So these kind of just curve inwards. That's probably too much. Something like that. Yeah. This beautiful thing you keep doing, you keep investing time and effort into something, and you can like get to see that you can like you get better at judging and evaluating things, and the mistakes that you make are fewer and they're less severe. So you kind of go like, yeah. And also, you'll learn to live with the little hiccups. Right? Okay. So, now the big question is, that it's more or less the angle, but it just needs to be, I don't know, something like that. Ooh, close. It needs to be higher up though. Ooh, hoo, hoo. Holy smokes, chat, I'm on fire today. We can clean this up a little bit. And how about that? Ooh, very close. It's probably too close. Yeah, I'm gonna say that that is acceptable. Cut your losses, chat. Cut your losses. Okay, cool. And it curves, bend, angles slightly inwards. Yeah, okay, okay. Looks very, a little bit too, it needs to be just a smidge higher. That's the right spot, but it needs to point a little bit further down. Yeah. Yeah. That is how we do it, chat. And make a guess and record. Oh no, much. But the angle is not that bad. Okay. Yeah, because it stops almost. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, like that. Ooh, that is the spot. It just needs to go a little bit higher. Oh, come on. It's really tricky to get this one. That one looks very promising. Until the angle is off. Come on. No, it doesn't. Alright. Oh my goodness. It's almost as if I'm... That one. Yeah. Alright, that is good. That is good enough. I can't spend all day doing that. Should be easy. Yeah, good enough. Obviously, this one just goes more or less straight down. Of course, it tilts a little bit off. Of course, it tilts a little bit to this, to that. Like threading a frickin' needle. Yeah. Yeah, and then you go like there's a corner there. And I don't think that's the angle. It's the spot and it's almost the angle, but holy smokes. How about that? Nope. Much. Okay, that is way too. Way off. Okay. Probably as good as we're gonna get it. We're running a little bit short on time here, so let's see if we can get this one right. Further up. Come on. How about that? Yeah. I can live with that. I know we overshot our line here, but it's okay. Something like that. No, it needs to be much steeper. But hey, didn't get to finish, but we got halfway. Yeah, we got halfway through. It's just 4 boxes, so halfway through in 10 minutes. And again, you will get faster and better. Just give it time. Give it time, chat. Give it time. You don't necessarily see the improvement on study from study kind of thing, but sort of stop and look back from, like, if I compare, it's going to be interesting. I would like to do a comparison with my first studies of these that I did when I started with this and versus the end of the month, and kind of go like, see what kind of improvement I've actually made. Alright, so now, again, the big takeaway is that we don't zoom in. We don't zoom in, chat. We gotta stay. I feel like I've done this pose before. Yay, nay? Oh, it's not necessarily, again, that's not necessarily a bad thing, mind you. It's eerily familiar. All right, now there's no gap, and this guy doesn't have any neck either. What the heck, man? It's probably because I start with the torso. Shoulders, head, looking up, it's the neck, center, compression, stretch, leg, foot. Yeah, alright, well, don't worry about accuracy, because again, any accuracy isn't even the purpose of this exercise, so. Much more gestural. Right. And now we soft erase. And now we can fine tune it. Find that torso. And I don't know, his hips will probably go a little bit of this way. Because I think that that straight leg in the back is his weight-carrying leg, so that is what we're gonna go with. And his leg. Compress, go back, curve, and straight. I feel like that leg needs to go even. That knee needs to go even further down. And the foot is about here. And then straight. There's a slight curve there, there's a straight there. Boom. And the other leg is kind of like underneath here. It comes down. And there's a diagonal. So the other knee would kind of be down here, and then something like that. Right. Hand, fist, something like that. Close to the camera, so that one goes down. Head. Turn up. Turns like that. Side of the head. Chin, jaw, neck. Very long neck. Fist. Guess we can clean up some of the inside here, just to make things read a bit better. Something like that, I would assume. That would be my guess. It's not wearing the wielding the staff, but communicates the intent. And 3 minutes to spare. Oop. I mean, yeah, it's different, but it's not necessarily. But it doesn't strike me as bad. Probably fix the chin area here. A little bit. That makes his neck even longer, but I don't know, some bottom plane action there. I don't know. But yeah. Something like that. And again, it's not far off. Probably probably get away with it by just course correcting. Oh god dang it. Even more by just doing this. Pushing that even further back. I'm quite happy how that one turned out. Not gonna lie. Room for improvement, definitely. Always room for improvement. That's why we keep practicing. Yeah. But yeah, it definitely helped to be zoomed out and have a complete overview of the... No, not 3 minutes. Stop. Stop. 10 minutes. Alright, 10 minutes of silhouette. Let's frickin' go. Where do we start here? Again, I still need that little sort of quote-unquote anchor point. Maybe at some point I would like to... It's a mini scaffolding, and I'm like, maybe I should just stop that, but and help me sort of like graduate from that. But for now, that's kind of where we're at. Is that a good distance, by the way? Like if that's... Oh my goodness, no, that's not a good distance at all. That needs to be much further in. And then you have the leg. Gestural line of the... You know, I feel that that in curve there is much more dramatic. Or I suppose it could also be just a curve out that makes it so dramatic. Anyway. Kind of just goes almost more or less straight down, and then up. Pretty much almost just straight up, and then you have that curve there, and then you have a straight, a bit of a straight, and then it goes out for the knee, and then you have the thigh. And of course, somewhere along here, you don't need this. Like, again, does not look good, but we'll see what we can figure out. Right, and here's the heel, and then it sort of curves inwards on the foot, and then outwards again. And the toe stops just there. I think that it points a little bit downwards, actually, because of the perspective. I gotta keep that in mind. Yeah, I think so. Okay, cool. Okay. It kind of goes, I don't know, it goes in a little bit and then it goes out because of the knee, and then we have boom. But around somewhere along here, I would say we have this arm that comes out from this, breaks up the silhouette. And that goes all the way out to there, and then you know, we got the flat of the hand and a little bit of some forearm muscle action. And if there's a diagonal here where it sort of just goes a little bit up a little bit. Seeing the angular relations, I don't think. I'm on a good width track. Actually, I am. Wow, at least in this part. Legs are gonna be probably gonna screw me over, but that's okay. Out in up right about here. Is it? Measuring with the butt of my style. Okay, yeah. I'm cautiously optimistic, chat. It looks promising. And then the shoulder goes up a little bit. And then we have neckline, roughly about that angle. And then we have, right, the roundness side of the head, which goes all the way with the hair and everything. All the way up to the frame, and then it goes down a little bit, and then it comes out again. Roundness, the other roundness of the head. It goes in for the neck, shoulder, and down, up like such, and then out, up, over. You have your knuckle line here, but we're not going to draw that because we're doing silhouette, and we're connecting it. And it's still too frickin' wide. But again, there's not, and the hand is too far down, and the foot is too far down. Like, it's still wonky, but I get a good impression. There's still 3 minutes to go. Oh. But, you know, we made now I would like to zoom in because getting these cross contours to work properly is going to be a royal pain in the butt. Yeah. Be something like that. If I were to try to give it volume. Yeah. Still a minute to go. But yeah. But it's correct around the arm. The head is too big. Chest is too wide. This one is very nice and clean. The leg is not necessarily super bad. Like it aligns quite nicely. Again, it's just like estimating of angles and so on and so forth. It might be better if I stop doing the swooshy curvy lines and just staying to rigid straight lines instead, because I think that is more applicable. And probably because, yeah, and again, like the foot is like, again, but that's probably might be because like this is distorted. Because if I align that one, I don't know. Because if, yeah, and obviously the hand. But looking at the relationship between things are also super helpful. Okay, but hey, we managed to complete the silhouette and do cross contours, even though the silhouette could use some improvement. All right, review time. I don't really have any notes on my pen. Oh, there we go. Trusty mechanical pencil. Again, I don't really have much notes on the ellipses, other than just keep doing it. And it's also the first exercise that I do, so the ellipses are gonna be wonky because again, it's me extra time. So just keep it up. We'll just read that. Don't really have any notes. Yeah, this one was, again, it was a bit of an epiphany to see like that I'm not good at certain angles or certain curves at certain drawing from left to right. So I think I should just embrace embrace the strong suits and just flip the canvas or rotate the canvas as needed if I need to draw a curve that is tricky. Basically leverage the advantage that digital drawing gives. So focus on quotation mark natural. Focus on natural. Quotation mark. What comes more normal to me. And these ones are just, again, pretty good. It's just trying to get let's see if we can do let's see if we can do try to go for 2 rows. Go for 2 rows. Challenge ourselves a little bit here, chat. This one as well. Go for 3/4. See, because I think that all of these examples, at least the ones that I have downloaded, all of these examples have 3 well, sorry, 4 boxes, so 3/4 through. Mannequin, yeah, go like no notes, just keep at it, basically. And for the silhouette, look at relations. That's a good start. Save that. What is it? 30th today. Back at the stairway. Wow. All right. Right. What is it? I turned on. Is that one? That's that one. Okay. So basically, I'm kinda. Which one is this one? Is that one? Right. I have. Like, that's that one. That's that one. Right. So, I think I have like low key. There's a question of this one. Like, how do we do this again? Right. Okay, so there's a big question that I have now. It's basically there's the red there. Right, this is the master layer, right? But the problem is this one doesn't really have. Oh, I suppose we could just. But like will that... You'll see a little bit of it. So we can just... And this one goes... Right, and then this one goes... Thinking of something like that. It doesn't... I'm not entirely sure how... But basically... Because these are... How was this again? Like, you need to... That was that. Right. So that's the edge of that one. So it goes... How does this one work again? It goes down and then out. I'm trying to, like, all of these, I'm trying to recreate the logic here. Yeah. So, yeah, okay. I got it now. So, this one goes here, and from that, you have a straight line like that. Right? And from there, no. I don't think you have it from there. You have it from here. Or do you? Because, like, we have... Because this one goes all the way up to that one. And from there it goes out to that one. Right. And then from that one okay, now I'm on board with where we're back, chat. We're back. Oh, we're back on track here. Where this one intersects. That's... You don't get it as dramatic as you would get it in the other, from the other angles, because you see more of this side than you do on this side, so it's... Yeah, kinda. It more or less more or less disappears in completely by the time you... Where you need... No, you do go out here. Right. Isn't that it? Yeah. You see a little bit of it here, but like the next few steps here, it's kind of just... It's basically just one big flat line. Okay, so... All right, yeah, these. Yeah. I think I mentioned this before, but did I? But I kind of dig Arkham Horror, the living card game. And they... I bought a lot of it, but then I kind of like got demoted or not laid off. What's it called again? Can't remember the English word. My position got reduced. Alright, so we got like, alright, I'm not gonna spend a lot of money on leisure things. I'm gonna be fiscal show fiscal responsibility and all of that jazz. And then you kind of like, okay, cool. But then it got like, then that got sorted out, and now I'm like, okay, cool. Now I can go back to not necessarily burning money away, but we can get back to spending a little bit on leisure activities, and yeah. That last one there is kind of... I don't think that is supposed to be a green, red line. It's supposed to be a green line. Oh, where am I? Where am I red? boys at? It's not a sketch. It's layer 10. Okay, cool. But I put it out of print basically. The probably because I'm planning to come in with a new version. So I'm like, went on a little bit of a panic buying spree. I got an email today that from the online store that I made some reservations for these games. I'm like, oh, sorry, it's been removed. It's out of production. It's been gone out of print, so we have to remove it from your order. I'm sorry. We're sorry for the inconvenience. And I'm like, gosh, freaking dang it. That's not what I want to hear. But I mean, I guess we can just take... Yeah, because these... You don't see... Yeah, you don't see the edge, but you will see this cut-in, so to speak. Okay. That makes sense. So I went as soon as I saw that email, like, all right, we're gonna go to we're gonna go on eBay and we're gonna buy, because I didn't have everything in stock, and when I first checked them out anyway, so I had to go to an I went initially on eBay, just to, like, that is not a straight line at all. Yeah, now I feel so much better. So found a store in Canada, and they're like, oh yeah, we have that stuff. So I went. I don't think it's the same store, but I was like, yeah, I need to go. I had to go to Canada to get mine. I need them cards. And yeah, that's pretty much it. The reason why we brought it up, because like we have board game night tomorrow, which is why it's not going to be a stream tomorrow, where we will figure out, and we're gonna play Arkham Horror, the loading card game, which is, yay, gonna be fun. And we've sort of like practiced with wait a minute, if I erase here, I'm not gonna mess up those lines, thank goodness. Which is gonna be fun, because it's gonna be the first time we play hang on. And yeah, it's the same issue here. You practically not gonna see anything at all of that. I don't think you're gonna see anything of that. You'll see it here, but I don't think that you will see... You will see it on this side, but I don't think you're gonna see it on this side. So let's just do this side instead. And we kind of need to... Oh, we probably only need... Yeah, well, we can just do it just for completionist's sake. Oh, we don't need to do that one. It'll disappear. That one just goes straight off the page. Okay, so now we... But no, you don't get to so I could just basically just... Right, then that all disappears off the panel. And here is so foreshortened, like it doesn't really deviate because it's so close to the vanishing point. Right? Yeah, I don't... Yeah, because they're based, those two lines are basically on top of each other, so... Also getting screwed up because I had such a lackluster... because I started with big lines for the initial sketch, but hey, we're this far in now that guess what? We're not going to stop. But all that said, that's a heck of a lot of planning, and I think we're pretty much done. So I'm going to do a very bold move and just collapse everything down like that. And I'm even going to collapse it down to the sketch layer. Really hands off the chessboard here, chess piece, not chessboard. We're going to lock that sketch layer, and then we're going to lower the opacity of the lock sketch layer. Now we have another sketch layer. We have so many sketch layers there, chat. I don't know what to do with myself. Excuse me. Now I guess it's time for us to just excuse me. Um, right, the handrails. Oh my goodness, the handrails. What? Like that one needs to be a bit chunky. Right. And from here, it does go up. Does that one go up to... Where does that one go up to? Oh, right, it points to or rather, it points down to the vanishing point, right? That's how it was, right? So we need a line that goes through you. Twice. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter that way because you're not going to see that landing. Never mind. I'm an idiot. It only needs to go down because this one is just going to go. Okay. Oh, for the love of... There we go. Roughly speaking. Right, and that will then give us like such. Like if that's the base that is on size because of perspective, that's the size that it will have down there. And from here, oh, crying out loud, how we're gonna... How am I gonna be able to do that, chat? It's so far away. Oh, hang on. There we go. There we go. There we go. Which gives us the third, and oh yeah, we do get the fourth one. Which is super tiny. And from this one, down towards the vanishing point. Boom. And it's off the vanishing point? Is it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9? 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8. It's supposed to be here. Is it? No. Alright. Oh my goodness. I just realized I made a huge mistake. I needed that. I think I feel like I've done goof with the amount of stairs. I'll just turn this one off. Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's 7 steps on that one, not counting or the 8th. Right? And this is the edge, right? So I do need, technically speaking, I need one more to go with that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Like, why does this one have more steps on it? What? And that is really messed up that I made such a mistake. And I catch such a mistake so late in the game. Question is, do I start all over again, chat, to fix it? Or do I just let it slide? I'm gonna let it slide. I have no idea what a mistake I made. And I also kind of just want to phone in these. And I suspect it is because these steps are off that I can't reconcile this one, which is why this box ends up being here when it should have been there. Because I suspect had it been... No, that is even further down. Wait, what? Like, does it... I guess... No, it can't possibly be all the way over here. Like, what the heck? No, it just pushes. That just pushes it further down. Yeah, because the floor starts down here. So it goes up these stairs, then up these stairs, up these stairs, and then up these stairs, and up these stairs. Yeah, so there's 3 landings. 1, 2, 3. No, 4 landings. 4 landings. And he only has 3, I think. 1, 2, 3. No, he also has 4 landings. I suppose we could just... I mean, again, we're not drawing the blueprints of the frickin' space shuttle here, so... Okay, cool. Because, like, in order to get the even steps in between, like the hole that will hold up the girdle, you need to evenly align them around sort of the initial frame with the original division frame. And I don't have that one because I'm a big idiot. But, you know. But where would that line go to then? Like you... Anyway. Right, and then you sort of like, with that, once that is done, right, you once again turn to the we're just going to use this one as a master. Right, and it's supposed to like refer to like the original. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, right? To find a suitable height for the Starship kind of thing. Right. And again, I have no idea, so we're just gonna frickin' eyeball it. And say, you know, there's our height, right? And that's pretty much it. Right, there's our height. We don't need that line at all. I don't think about it. And we don't need lines beyond this point either, right? And from here, right, so that is the height roughly speaking. Right? Just picking something here. Right. And then we should do this in a different color. Right. And then right. So now I need to try to think. That is a really acid trippy. So that that's that one. That's that one. I need a third layer here. Holy smokes. Right. So that and that. And then just like that, I think. This is based on the vanishing. Yeah, because the platforms themselves are not, like the top plane of the platforms are not distorted by perspective. They are perfectly flat and perpendicular. It's just the depth of them that gets distorted. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, that looks... That looks very wrong. Like, this one looks correct, but this other stuff here just looks so... Maybe it will help if I clean it up a little bit. Clean up this... sketch a little bit. Right? Clean that up. We don't need that. But no, like, huh? But it's still flat, right? Yeah, I think that's what's tripping me off. because it needs to go... Wait. Yeah, because that's that one. Yeah. Okay, now it kind of makes sense, question mark. Because that's that line. No, it needs to be... Does it get so distorted in perspective that it... I mean, that also looks wrong. You know, it looks wrong. Or is it just the red lines that are throwing me out? This is so wrong, though. But then again, it is a one-point perspective. Right? So it's only one set of lines that sort of converges, in which is like these. But horizontal and vertical lines, they don't do anything because this is essentially just a one-point perspective. But everything else. That goes deeper into the... Let's just continue and see what it looks like. Towards the end here. So now these... And a webtoon that I'm subscribing to has come with a new free episode, but I will deal with that later. Let's just keep going, I guess. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, well, you don't really need that last one because it's gonna go through. And these... like, do they just go like that? And I mean, huh? Is it like, yeah, because like it does trace like I think it's something about like the lenses, like it gets so distorted because of the perspective. I'm pretty sure that like that's fair enough. Like that's the converging line, and I go like this one is also converges towards it. Yeah, he has all of his lines, obviously, to the surprise of absolutely freaking nobody, converging towards that single vanishing point. But his... they don't get... like, there's some distortion. But then again, I also just freaking eyeball it, so... So then the big question is, what the heck do I do now? Because like I said, this one doesn't look too bad, and it just gets procedurally worse the further you go. You go into the unless I'm again doing something catastrophically wrong, which is we can't rule out. Right. But if I understand it correctly, it would just go through all of these. And from here, where's the black one? That corner. Like, it's not even a square, dude. Like, I don't even know how to... like, yeah, it needs to be bigger because it's, you know, like, closer to the... I don't know, maybe that's the solution. you just essentially you just do a you just essentially you just do a black sort of like square kind of based on where these lines intersect, right? So then you kind of like go like, okay, this corner is here, and the bottom corner, which is that one, needs. All right, so that corner aligns with that and that, right? And then you just connect. Do it like that. I don't know if that is correct, but like it looks. Oh god, freaking dang it! It looks much more correct. And that corner is there, and you kind of just, and that corner is there. And then, right, and then you just connect. Does that make sense? Yeah. I think I got like lost a bit in the sauce there of this perspective distortions and so on and so forth. Or I could also be completely wrong. What the heck do I know? There we go. Right. So that corner is there, and that corner is there. Cool. We can delete that. And this is layer 1. And now we're just sort of connecting corners. Like, come on. Come on. Like such. Boom. That. And I can collapse these two. And I can just connect things up. Doesn't have to be super clean because again, it's just a sketch. this one is pretty straight up hideous, but whatever. I'll clean that up in the... Oh my goodness, the line art on this stage. Holy smokesy pants. Alright, cool. So that is sort of the pillars that will hold it up. And then you need like a like if I just pick an arbitrary point here, right, and then draw it down to the vanishing point, right, and I can draw the same line across here. Like that's the level at what the handle would be, so you would have all of this just sort of like as a top. Actually, I would like to have that much higher up, pretty please, with sugar on top. Yeah. Okay, cool. So this one, and I try to hit the vanishing points. All right, so that one's there. Cool. And that one allows me to draw some lines. Right? And from that one, I can draw towards the next vanishing point, which is over here, which will then, in turn, allow me now we're cooking with gas, chat. Now we're cooking with gas. Look at that. This is pretty cool. Believe it or not, chat, I'm actually having fun. And we practically don't see anything on that. Right. And then these then in turn just go down there. Right? That is that. Right. Then of course, yeah, because they sort of recede down towards that one. So I have no idea what am I supposed to do with these? But I would assume that they need to, like, they need to get bigger, but I have, because obviously they can't go towards the vanishing point. And they can't go to that one. So like they are receding from something. They are going towards that one. So hang on. I guess what we could do, we're just gonna have to do go the opposite and just go from the vanishing point and out. Through? Yeah, like that. Right, and now comes the fun part. We need to clean up this sketch. Because I can't make heads or tails of half of the stuff that's going on around here. Okay, so we don't need... Oh, okay, cool. So this is the red layer, right? Yeah. And now we just need to be a little bit careful careful. He's now we need to be a little bit careful as he goes bumbling into it like a freaking stampeding drunk elephants in a china shop. Right. Okay, so we don't need that. I'm trying to be a little bit tidy here. We don't need that. Yeah, look at that. Don't chase pixels, he says as he chases pixels. What's a little bit double standards between streamer and chat? Quite a lot, apparently. I should not make it a habit. Wow, would you look at that, chat? Would you look at that? It kind of disappears from here on out, I would assume. Yeah. Zoom, 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 zoom. Yeah, look at that. That was pretty slick, not gonna lie. It took us only an hour. But I also need a toilet break, so I'll be right back. Don't touch that dial. Hooray! Cool, we're back. So, obviously, they also need, these suckers also need some thickness to it, right? It needs some thickness to it. Let's do the thickness. Let's do the bottom plane in green. Yeah, that is it. And essentially, we're just gonna repeat the same. We're just gonna, but this time, he says, we're gonna be a little bit smart about it. We're gonna be a little bit smart about it so that things. Oh, that's. I don't know if I want. Yeah, that is like reasonable. Weakness. I don't think we. No. So we don't need any of that. We don't need these lines here. We can just get rid of that. Right. Right. And now we have even seeing drawing through our forums chat. How about that? There we go. All right, yeah. I just, no. I need that. We don't need these lines anymore, and I suppose we could keep that line. How the heck did I? All right. All right. That is how. And then I don't. these. Keep running a sketch. Wait. Yeah. Do we? Like I low-key think that yeah, because like, no, because it's still a perfectly straight. Right. That is correct. Shoot. All right, cool. Again, I have no idea how much of this is actually going to be but if nothing, oh, Hui pants. If nothing else, it's a very good exercise in perspective. If nothing else, and rather complex perspective at that. So it is not a complete waste. Da, 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 da. I should probably do that on a... There we go. All right. Oh my freaking gosh. There's some snapping going on here that I don't generally do not like. There we go. Yeah, because I think it's settings, Docker's grid. Yeah. So if I turn on snap to grid, then I can probably. Yeah. Draw without a care in the world, without snapping. Ah, would you look at that? Three-dimensionality. And also. Now we're looking really good. Yeah, you see the corner there. That's fine. You don't see it. Ah! You don't see any of this. You don't see that either. You don't see any of that. Wow. It's looking like an actual finished It's pretty cool. Not gonna lie. It is indeed growing on me, chat. So, with that said, let's just see if we can just like finish actually. Let's just keep it very simple. Just do it like such. Boom. And boom. Hang on. I suspect, like, if we're gonna start in that corner, and we can go, and we need to drag it out until it hits that one. That would be correct. Plus, as my brain's trying to get this perspective to be correct, so it would be kind of, what was that? There we go. Might as well. Boom. And there's no line art there. Oh. Boom. There we go. Okay. Now, of course, we need to clean this a little bit. Up. A little bit, because that's going to go behind there. That's going to disappear behind there. Yeah. That gets hidden. And that gets hidden. And this also gets hidden. Okay. And if everything goes down the drain, we still have our quote-unquote master layer or master sketch. All right, I guess we'll just that would be I need, these are the lines that are in perspective, so these are the lines that need to change. I need to adhere to. But this one kind of, alright, then they start disappearing because they recede. Yeah. And we can do the same here. Going over our wonderful, colorful lines. Done goofed with this one, these stairs, because they have more steps than the other stairs, but I have no idea what I did something wrong there, but I have no idea what it is, so we're just gonna leave it. We're just gonna leave it, chat. And you don't see that there because the corner's tucked in underneath, which is fine. But we definitely do see them here. Alright. And do we also see them? We see them a little bit here. But not nearly as much. And then they kind of just disappear. All right. So that's one. And then we kind of just connect the lines. Look at me go, chat. Straight line after straight line. Riveting online content. Oh well. Yeah. Okay. I suppose we could just flip it. Oh, it's just mirrored. This might look weird. Oh. And then we just do this. Starting to take shape, chat. Starting to take shape. Especially if I do this. No? I'm not entirely sure why. But we can collapse that. And then, oh, been at it for 2 hours already. Just this, not counting the 1 hour warm-up session. All right, carry on. Staircases in perspective. Ooh, I do love when I'm good. It's so nice when things just line up nicely, you know? Go. Nope. Flat. I suppose we could just trim away the excess to make things look nice and clean. Or not. I mean, we're still on the sketch layer. We're still sketching, chat. Still sketching. Where am I? Okay. We got green lines. Green lines needs to be drawn over. I guess one of the reasons why as much as I dislike perspective, I also kind of like it because it's not the same as organic. Like there are like quote unquote rules. There are rules with organic, like when you're drawing people and whatnot, but it's not quite the same. But so maybe that has been my forte all along. Just go like, oh yeah, architectural drawing, backgrounds, staircases in perspective. Oh, all of that is on one layer. Wonderful. Well, Pooey Pants. There we go. I think we low-key will see that one. And it goes from there to there to there to there. Oh, Pooey Pants, I can't draw that line. Not on that. Oh, no. And we're gonna stop right there because I'm just gonna make things ugly. We need another temp layer. Now we can draw that with reckless abandon. All right, it does continue out here. And then it goes in like such, and in like such. And we can just clean things up a little bit here, like such. Whee! Look at that. Beautiful. And we can go whee! Beautiful. And we're on the wrong layer, but that's okay. We'll just collapse things down. I like to think that that's it. We have these final staircases here, though. But if I turn off sketch, yeah, behold the fruits of my labor. Okay, I probably should turn this one off here and get rid of that. As a floor, and then you go like round. Yeah. It is indeed. Quite beautiful. It might not be much, but for me, this is the crowning achievement in perspective drawing. Pinnacle of my perspective drawing skills, even though I fairly faithfully followed a tutorial. Goodness gracious me. Okay, let's see. Can we... figure out this like it goes oh, this is wrong. Like, what the heck? Yeah, because it goes off, but it's correct down. Oh well. It goes... I suppose we'll just draw some new perspective guidelines, and we're gonna do it with different colors this time around, so we don't confuse ourselves. Okay, cool. And then, yeah, basically, yeah, because the division is fine. Like, I don't need to worry about those. But what I do need, I need to worry about these. This is how you make stairs. Right. And no, you don't see that last step. Okay, cool. So you only need to worry about those. Right. Ding, 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 ding. Right, and then back to red. Because this is this one, yeah. And right, that was that is absolutely true. That was kind of a challenge with this one. Oh no, it's not. It needs. I can't go along the wrong. It needs to go through that corner there, roughly speaking. Yes, quite. I'm Sean Connery. And then from that corner to that one. Right, and then from that there, yeah, you barely get to see anything. It's minuscule, but it's there, so I guess we'll gotta include it. Yeah, something like that, right? And then you will have the final landing thing up there. Right, so that is still ink. And now we just gotta ink this last part. It's not even inking, still sketching. Black, please. Thank you. Oh, I suppose it doesn't matter because we're gonna delete those layers. Poopy pants. Come on. That was those. And we can continue our wild adventure here, and I also need to remember so this will overlap with that one, so that will disappear behind. Hey. So you could just be so bold as to connect these lines directly. Just hurting my brain. Or rather, confusing the crap out of my brain. Oh. And it's okay if they go off panel because we have the power of alpha, inherent alpha channels on our side, which basically means that we don't have to worry about stuff that goes outside. All right, nice. That means that we don't no longer need these, and we have that. We don't need to open that. And now we need to do some good old-fashioned selective deleting. We can start. We need to be on the right layer. And then we can start here, and I suppose we can just go across over here, and then back down here, and then we can delete that, right? Now it looks nice and clean. And the question is, yeah. So I'll do this. Okay. We're gonna go down to this layer, then we go like that. And we turn off the sketch layer. Ooh, would you look at that, chat? Would you absolutely look at that? Boom. I, for one, am super happy with the end result. There's some wonky stuff going on here, and I suppose we will just fix that by I don't know, it kind of doesn't, I guess it, in the grand scheme of things, it doesn't really matter too much, but and then Shift A. Technically, there would be a pole like that at the corner here. Yeah. Super happy with it. Now, of course, we just need to go back to our thumbnails idea, and we're just gonna need to have our... It's very different from the original thumbnail, which is like, had this kind of an idea where you would like end up here. That would be the top panel, but now it's in the opposite corner, but whatever. The basic idea is essentially that we're just going to have the same character reappear multiple times, so it gives the illusion that he is like running up the stairs. But yeah, took me a little while to kind of like get into it, but yeah, Gonna need some windows along the walls. I'm thinking definitely a window here. could have a window here and a window here. It sort of just adheres to the perspective. Yeah, Kinda nice, kinda nice. I'm tempted to just copy it, paste it, and collapse it down as the actual ink layer. And this is my sketch. Because I'm that happy with it. The only thing that I like, obviously now, like if you look at it, like these steps are obviously paper thin, right? Because there's no thickness to them. I'm not entirely like, I suppose like these bottom stairs could be like solid, which is basically mean that you would essentially just continue these corner lines, because like if you could do that, I could do that, because like he comes running from the previous page. Where's the previous page? The previous page has him realizing the door, right? And you want to continue with storytelling, spatial awareness, and all of that stuff. If Krita could open the page, that would be great. Right. So this thing comes flying in, pitchfork. Dude gets chased by a horse, an old man on a horse with a pitchfork. And it comes flying in, smashes into, he's trying to escape up the elevator, and then he goes like, oh, I can't escape up the elevator, you know, elevator summon button is destroyed. I need to get out of here. And then he sees the stairs, right? The door for the stairs. If we put that door sort of like the opposite side of the door here, yeah, that would make sense, because then I can have this stairway go through the door, right? This is panel 1. I need to be on panel 3, right? Right, because then I can put the staircase right here, right? Would you look at that? There's a staircase. Wow. I should take the stairs. Then I might not even need the side stairs. Wow. Would you look at that? That is a bit of a small stroke of genius, because then I could let's see, I need to shrink this sucker down to a gentleman's 10 pixels. Right. I suppose I could shrink this thing down. Right. I need to get this thing to fit. Alright. Rather, I suppose it would be just easier for me if I just pick a should. Wait, what? We pick this one. We pick this corner here. Wait, what? Right, okay, yeah, like, because the floor obviously goes from here. Wait, what? That's the floor right there. So, if I do... Right. And then we do this. And I suppose we could just continue that line underneath and then just, you know, casually. Right. And to keep it easy for ourselves, super easy, barely an inconvenience, we could just like again just pick a door, right, like that. And there's our door. I mean, we could just, oh, something like that. There's your door. Yeah. Look at me go. Look at me solving. So that's the stairway door you see on the previous page. So he is like run up. We have a plan, chat. We have a plan. It also gives you a sort of like a definitive floor plane thing. Super happy about that one. That was a good session. Even though there are people who are much faster and much more efficient than me and so on and so forth, but yeah, who cares? Is it perfect? No. Plenty of room for improvement, but considering this is the first time I've taken a jab at stairs, at such complexity, I'm not complaining. It's not perfect. It's not. And you'll probably need to find I'll probably need to find like an arbitrary thickness somewhere. Pick a point. I mean, I could just do that now while I'm at it. Because I can collapse that down to the in-clear, commit to it, hand up the chest piece and all of that, and then like if I just draw a line down here, and right, because then we have a thickness. Let me just delete all of this bull stuff here, because now we have a thickness, right? Right. That is that is that is the thickness that one would need to right, and then we can just collapse this one, and we can then just draw a really long line like such. And yeah, there's your I guess we don't need it up to the right about here. We don't need it. And we don't need it past this point either. Yeah. And we also don't need this stuff. Ooh. Because it gets hidden underneath. Or, yeah. And I know there's a whole bunch of like line weight and, you know, thicker lines and thinner lines and all of that, but so turn off the sketch. Yeah, maybe I have to go over this one more time for inks. But yeah. There's some beauty mistakes here, but I like to keep the perspective blueprint breakdown with vanishing points and all that mess. Like to keep that for prosperity, not necessarily for prosperity, but yeah, and probably this one also needs to go like probably needs another line that goes from this corner down towards the vanishing point. And where these lines intersect, we can just draw a line like that. Yeah, that's good. That's good. That's good. That's good. We don't need this. Yeah, I'm probably gonna have to go over this whole thing one more time. Oh, that is the wrong layer. We don't want to erase that. We don't want to erase all our hard work. I can go all the way up to there, like such. And then we can inherent and collapse. It's probably better if I just do this. Yeah. That makes sense. Because he's gonna run up all the... Yeah, because then I can have another one of these columns, because on the next page, after the staircase, he runs up all of those stairs. Wow, a lot of happy little accidents today, chat. Or a lot, but some. And anytime now. Waiting for image operation to complete. Right. Because now he's like at the top of the stairs and you can sort of see, you can, let's see, here, here's my, you could see, the idea is got like the same pitchfork kind of gets thrown from the bottom of from the ground floor and just thrown up so it stabs at the ceiling. So here are the railings. That he kind of like. So that is the platform. He runs all the way to the top floor, and escapes out through the door. He finds at the top floor, but that door would probably be somewhere over here, off panel, but it will be off here somewhere. Cool. Cool. And it's also kind of neat because like it starts at the bottom and you run up and it sort of ends up here, which is where you start reading on the next page. Right. So, like last time, we're gonna leave on a happy note of accomplishment. It didn't take me nearly as much. I was terrified that I'm gonna be stuck with this panel for freaking week because of the complex perspective and whatnot. Obviously, I still need to figure out how in the ever-living crapping name am I supposed to get a character to run up all of these stairs multiple times, because these are some tricky angles. It's a tricky perspective with a lot of foreshortening. But that is for another day. That other day will definitely, most likely be on, it will be on Sunday, so. Why did I X out? I did, X out Saturday, not Sunday. Stupid. Idiot. Oh, I'll just see. Anyway. We'll just call it here. Methinks. Yeah. Really happy about that one. How it turned out and everything. Alright, cool. So, thank you very much for stopping by. And we'll pick up here on Sunday, 6 p.m. Central European Time. Until then, keep drawing, keep having fun. I'll see you soon. Okay, bye-bye.